King of the road.
So we have been from Los Angeles to Utah to Florida to Maine, all the way back to the West Coast, nearly 10,000 miles, but we never did our Airstream tour.
We're sorry, guys. We got caught up in the adventures, but now it is time to show you all around our beautiful Bambi, our 22-foot tin can on wheels.
Trailer for sailoring. Trailer for sailoring.
Welcome to our Airstream. So before we get into the nitty-gritty, I'm gonna give you the quick tour. Right here we have the living room / second bedroom, the kitchen, the master bedroom, and if you turn around, the bathroom. Okay, first up is the kitchen. So overall we have a dual sink, a stove under here with 2 burners, a microwave, and plenty of storage for our dishes and food, etc. We also have a refrigerator. Da, 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 da. It's not big, but it does the trick. And then it locks. So first up, let's talk about storage in the kitchen. So we have multiple storage spots right here, here, underneath the microwave, and underneath the cushions in the dining room table. So if I open this up, you'll see things that we use every day because you'll want to have access to things in an easy way. So all of our dishes are here and they are unbreakable and microwave safe. I think a key thing when it comes to storage is having little containers inside of your larger storage units. That will keep everything organized. So what we use are these little M design containers, and now we have a lot of vitamins that we store up here that we take every day. It might be different for you guys, but that's what we do. So we have these small clear containers from M Design, which we got on Amazon, pretty cheap, and it helps keep everything organized up here. We'll have the same thing in this container, has popcorn because that's essential. But up here we also have our stackable pans. The speaker system came with the Airstream. We did not install that, but it's great because it's all Bluetooth and surround sound in the Airstream. We didn't think we'd end up using the speaker system because we have our own speakers, but it actually ends up working really well and we use it all the time when we cook. So the same storage system over the bed as well. If I climb up here, it's a little more crowded, but we have all of our shake ingredients in a bin. We have a lot of snacks, and Scott loves chips, so we have a lot of chips. And this one is a little bit messier, but it has some clothing, like my pajamas and stuff like that. Okay, other storage spots are underneath the couch. Now this isn't as easy to get to, and you can do it in a multitude of ways. I can either pick it up like this and just take a peek in, or I can take the couch cushion off, which makes for easier access. You'll get a better view this way. So it's a little chaotic in there, but I know where everything exists. So we have our Camelback bags, a lot of extra food that we don't access every day, like s'mores, although Scott would like to access those every day. We also have our toilet paper and Lysol wipes and cleaning supplies down here if we need them. So this storage space is pretty substantial. It's really big. It's probably our biggest storage space except for under the bed. But this is for non-perishables and things that we're not gonna access every day. Whereas everything above the stove is gonna be the things that we need on a daily basis. So underneath the couch, there are 3 storage spots. 1, 2, and a third over on the other side. Now, these 2 are fairly large. The one on the other side is not as large.
So the biggest piece of storage that we have is actually underneath the bed, and it has a nice little, somewhat of a helper. So there are these hydraulic springs that assist, and I can let it go, but it's still gonna fall. And there's 4 of these bins. There's also this door that you can open up so that when the bed is closed, you can gain access underneath the bed. So this is where we store certain bags, and we can access them a little bit easier. And now these bins, these are typically, like we have laundry detergent, seasonal clothing, so when it's, put our winter stuff down here in the summer and whatnot. But this is I'll be honest, it's kind of a pain to get those 2 bins in the back out. So if you have stuff stored back there, while it's great storage, it is very tough to access because you have to pull these 2 out and put them in the middle, and it's just a big chaotic thing. But it is a lot of storage. So we have those 4 sections back there. So the final 2 storage spots are here and here. And this one right here, very little storage. We just have like our Tupperware, our koozies, just some small knickknacks and whatnot. Sometimes we store, looks like tomato sauce and some avocados. And then the other is underneath the kitchen sink. So 2 things, a little tip. This trash can is great for this area. Now it is kind of small and we fill it up almost every single day. But originally the Airstream came with a trash can that took up all of this space, and that was just very inefficient. So this little one that kind of hangs on the edge, we have a link for that on our Amazon page. You can check it out. What's nice is if you need a little more space, it's actually collapsible. So you can just kind of push it in, maybe.
There's stuff in it now.
Oh. So it is collapsible when it's empty, but there's stuff in it right now. So, and then we have our storage underneath the kitchen sink. And this is where we have silverware. We've got all the things we need for cooking, knives, whatnot. We have like aluminum foil, saran wrap, Ziploc bags. We've got our seasoning. This is another great thing that Colette found on Amazon. It just hangs on the door. This we use every single day. It's great. Salt, pepper, olive oil, whatnot. And then we have some cleaning supplies and then just a few mixing bowls. Just the bare essentials in this. Oh, now this you can't get anywhere because it's custom made. A very nice cutting board, and it's the perfect size. It slides right in and out. Definitely recommend something like this because, I mean, we like to cook and it fits perfectly in here. Just slides in and out. So that's basically what's underneath the kitchen sink. And then on the outside, 2 must-haves, these 3M little hooks. We installed these, very simple, just to have access to towels because, you know, you gotta dry your hands and wash your hands on a regular basis. And then this we just got is a bag of lavender because there are a lot of weird smells that happen inside this Airstream, and this is just a nice little thing to help it smell better.
So for cooking, we have a 2-burner stove and a microwave. Now, the 2-burner stove is really great. It's all gas powered and it has a lid on top so that I can close it, have more counter space, and it's a better clean finish. And then the microwave is underneath it. Pretty standard. It's the same size as you would find in a home. I do like the microwave, but I would prefer an oven for cooking. So the microwave is great, but it does use a lot of battery. So if we're not hooked up to power, then we have to use it very sparingly or it can drain the battery. And even if we are hooked up to power, we can't run things like the air conditioner and the microwave at the same time. So the sink is great. We have a dual sink, and what we use it for is the sink on the left, and then we use this drying rack on the right. Now, if you have an Airstream or any type of RV, I cannot recommend this enough. It is pop-up, so it's collapsible, and it just dries everything perfectly and drains right back into the sink. Now, I have a banana hammock. I'm so excited about it too. I never thought I'd have a banana hammock because I'm not Borat.
Nice.
And I also have this paper towel holder, and both of these are removable, which we have to do every time we drive because you can't have anything that's hanging around like bananas. So I just simply unhook it and put it on the bed.
So this comes with I'll call it a college dorm size fridge. I think it's somewhere between like 4 to 5 cubic feet. We kind of love and hate this thing in a way. The new Airstreams designed their refrigerators to be only electric power in this model. So that means it does not run off gas. It runs off AC power or 12 volt power. That is great for when you're plugged in, but bad thing is it consumes a lot of power when we're running off of batteries. Unless you've upgraded to lithium batteries or a lot of solar, the batteries that they provide with this Airstream does not allow you to really boondock for any length of period of time without being plugged into a generator or, like I said, solar at that point. So now we have since upgraded the power, and I'll get into that more later. But with that said, from the size perspective for us, there's enough space to go for about 4 days of food in here. So it has a freezer, but it's just kind of flap closed. It's not a different section. So the problem with that is it does frost over quite frequently, especially if we are in a humid environment. So this is our pride and joy. It is our espresso machine made by Breville. We absolutely love it. We've traveled all across the country with it. It starts all of our mornings off oh so amazingly well. Now this does use a lot of power also, but now that we've upgraded, we don't need to plug in the generator to make this thing work. We have an awesome 3000 watt inverter, and it will power this thing very easily every single morning. And the last thing that's in the kitchen area is the TV. And we rarely ever use this thing. I think it's kind of an antiquated design from Airstream, to be honest. With nowadays, with everyone with their iPads and iPhones, I think Airstream could probably pull this out. It just really takes up space, but we've left it in for the time being. So a lot of people always ask, what about storage of clothes? So we do have this wonderful closet.
Closet? You'll love it!
And I did a little upgrade, and originally this was just one big section, and it did not allow for the best storage because clothes were falling all the time. So I put in this piece of wood and then these 2 pieces of wood to kind of divide this into quadrants, and now it is better organized than it was before. So then we have just our hanger section, and then we bought this little hanger organizer, which, to be completely honest, I don't absolutely love, because you lose storage space between the door and this, and then you have the same amount of space on the back side. So it's not the most efficient storage. Ideally, what I think would be great is to kind of divide this down the middle, have some hangers on this side, and then have this be shelves for some more storage. I think that would be the best way to kind of design this closet, but each person is going to be different. Some people want a lot of hangers. Some people don't mind if they just have stuff folded up.
So one of the things that we love about the Airstream is that it has its own spacious bathroom. So the bathroom has a separate toilet, sink, and shower, which means we do not have a wet room. And that was really important to us because we feel like that just gets a little messy. So a lot of you have been asking us about toilet etiquette and how do you poop in the Airstream? But I'll let Scott handle that one, hun.
So number 2 in the Airstream has a very specific process. First, you have to actually put some water into the toilet. Second, put some poo-pourri into the toilet to kind of help cover the smells. Open the window, turn on the fan, and then pray that your partner doesn't smell it. Yes, unfortunately, odors do happen, but we try to do the best we can to mitigate those smells. Now back to the rest of the bathroom tour. Go ahead, Colette.
So the bathroom has a sink, a window. It has this vanity mirror that was already installed. It comes with the Airstream. And then we added this battery-powered light because there's no light that comes onto your face in the bathroom. It's just touch-powered. Ta-da! And then underneath the sink, there is plenty of storage. Now, again, we use these clear containers and smaller containers to organize things underneath the sink. Now, there is a toilet paper holder in here, but no toilet paper goes into the toilet. You carefully fold your toilet paper and put it in the trash. You want to keep the tank very clean. When researching RV storage, I was trying to find some hacks. And one of the hacks I found online, and I don't know who said it, but thank you to whoever did, was this shoe rack in the bathroom. So here you can see just miscellaneous things like deodorant and toothpaste and brushes and all of that. So this is a way to organize our bathroom and have access to things that we use every day or nearly every day in a, more orderly way. And it just hangs on the bathroom door. Now, one thing you do want to know is you don't want to overload this with weight because it will fall down when you're driving. I would know from experience. Now, a lot of you are curious about the shower size, but I will let Scott show it to you. He is 6 feet tall, so keep that in mind when sizing the shower.
Welcome to our lovely shower. Something that we wanted when we were researching was we wanted a full bathroom with a standalone shower. We did not want a wet room because we knew we were going to be spending several months, years, who knows how long in this Airstream. So we have this shower, and as you can see, I can stand up fully. Now the head is a little bit below, so I have to kind of squat down. But it is spacious enough. I mean, it has a little seat back here. We have all our soaps. And then something that's nice is it does have a little valve right here. And that this is when we are boondocking, you can set your water temperature and then turn the water off. and then turn it back on right to the temperature that you like. So before we started this, I thought RV life was nonstop military showers. Turn on, soap up, and then turn the water off after you rinse. But actually, when we're plugged in, the shower and sinks and everything and power works just like a normal home. So Colette and I can take long, hot showers as long as we like, because actually the hookups drain directly into the sewage. And we'll show you that to you later. Now, a lot of you guys who've been RVing for a long time know that, but to us, we didn't realize that. So that's something nice to know, that you don't always have to take military showers. You can take normal showers like you do at home.
And now it's time for the bedroom tour. So our bed is a full-size bed. It's 54 inches. Now, we went from a king-size bed to this, and it was a big adjustment for us, but we finally settled in. I added a Tempur-Pedic topper, which I love. Scott does not, because it keeps him warm at night. I think the Tempur-Pedic topper does help with the transfer of motion, so we don't feel it if the other person gets up at night. I don't really love the bed setup, although I've gotten used to it because I have to crawl over Scott in the night if I have to get up to use the bathroom. So I'm on the inside, Scott's on the outside. Now, if you go up to a 25-foot Airstream, this configuration will change and the bed will shift so that both parties can get out without having to crawl over the other. If we were to do it all over again, we would probably get a 25-foot Airstream for that reason alone.
So you can see there's plenty of space, but it is kind of an adjustment from a king-size bed. Now, for weekend travelers, this is perfect. It will be great for any couple. But for us who are living in this, like Colette said, it would have been a little bit nicer to have a little bit bigger bed, or if the bed were just turned so that Colette doesn't have to crawl over me in the middle of the night if she has to go to the bathroom. So some other features of the bedroom. These are all blackout shades. Now, while these are blackout shades, the rest of the windows do not have blackout shades. So if you're really sensitive to light, you are going to get light when the sun rises coming in from that section of the Airstream. The other thing is there is a bit of a nightstand behind the bed, and this is where we store, our Kindle and some other items. It's actually a pretty decent sized space. Just store the knickknacks and whatnot that you might need. And there is also USB plugs on either side of the bed, so you can charge your phone, your Kindle, any electronics that you might want to during nighttime. So these USB plugs run off the battery. So when you buy the Airstream as it comes, these will power any of your devices even when you're not plugged in, because it charges directly from the batteries. And now you might wonder what this little thing is. We're tech nerds in a way. This is our anti-blue light nighttime reading light. So it's a cheap little USB plug-in battery powered light to prevent having blue light. And we turn it on roughly about an hour before we go to bed, so that all the light we have is not blue light to help us sleep better. Absolutely love it. Highly recommend it. So as you can see, the bed is plenty big enough, and it actually looks gigantic because we're using a wide angle lens. So it's a little bit of lens distortion going on right now, but it's been comfortable for us. We've been in this thing for on and off for 5 months, and it is comfy. We've gotten used to it. All right, guys, welcome to our second bedroom, which was previously the kitchen table. So Airstream advertises this, that it will sleep 4 people. While in theory it can, I wouldn't recommend having 4 adults stay in this. I think it's perfect for 2 adults and 2 kids, or maybe 3 adults, because as you can see right here, this is really just kind of a full, maybe a twin size bed. I could sleep on it comfortably. It is a little stiff and a little lumpy, but it's really not that bad when you're talking about camping. But I don't know. I mean, Colette, we could just lay here, but I don't think we could actually sleep here. This would be pretty tight. And there, what was once a bed is now a table.
When it comes to internet and the Airstream, we mainly tether to our phones to get Wi-Fi. But because we're basically an aluminum can, we also use this hotspot. And it has a MIMO antenna, and we stick it to the window so that we can get better service and internet sometimes. Now, this hotspot has saved us a few times when our phones don't have service.
So one topic that a lot of you asked about was our power situation, power solution. So We have upgraded the batteries to 3 Battleborn lithium-ion batteries, which gives us 300 amp hours. And we also installed a 3,000 watt inverter. And finally, we installed 200 watts of solar. Now, for those of you designing a complete system, the solar is a little underpowered for our batteries and whatnot. But we just wanted to have something that would get us working and give us a little bit more longevity when we are dry camping or boondocking. So we have the inverter and the third battery installed right here, but we have the 3,000 watt inverter right here next to our hot water tank. And then the third battery is actually installed in the other utility port. Now the other two are out front where the original first 2 lead acid batteries were installed. I highly, highly recommend doing something like this, getting an inverter installed into your Airstream or RV. And that's because when this comes originally as stock, none of the 110 ports work unless you are plugged in. So the only power that you get is basically the USB power. Now, if you want to charge your laptops, run any type of device, I mean, we have our high maintenance espresso machine. None of that works unless you have an inverter or you're plugged in. Now that we have this amazing, great inverter and battery situation, we can do whatever we want wherever we are. If we're plugged in or not on the road, it's absolutely great. It is a tremendous lifesaver. So these are the 2 other 100 amp hour lithium ion batteries. So these are the 2 combined with the third one, give us 300 amp hours of power. Now, as long as we're not using the microwave too much and not making too many espressos, this will kind of give us almost indefinite amount of power with the 200 watts of solar that we have on top. Now, in reality, we probably have about 10 days of power on our normal consumption, that is charging our laptops, making espressos, occasionally using the microwave, and running that pesky refrigerator. It'll allow us to get about 10 days of power on these 3 batteries along with the 200 watts of solar. Now, in the future, if we want to stretch that out, we could probably expand to 400 or 600 watts of power on solar, and then we would never ever have to plug this thing in. So one more thing, these are a magnitudes better than the original batteries that the Airstream comes with. The lead acid batteries in theory have something around 87 amp hours of power, but in reality, you're getting a fraction of that. These deliver 100 amp hours a piece. So we were struggling with, whenever we would go boondocking, we always had to have this thing plugged in to a generator because we'd wake up every morning and our batteries would be dead. Now we don't have to worry about all that power running out. Welcome to my man cave, guys. This is the garage. I know it's not much, right? This is the outside storage, and this is basically where we store all the hoses and power cables and a little bit of workout equipment. It goes back fairly far, but to be honest, to get to anything that's stored back there is kind of a pain. Most of your storage space is pretty much right here and is perfect for hatchet, hoses, electrical cords, and whatnot. So on the outside, this does have a manual awning, which is pretty nice. It's pretty simple to put up. You can do it one person. It takes probably 2 to 3 minutes to actually get up there. A lot of people, like to have electric awnings. We've kind of found that the manual awning is just fine. Welcome to the not so glamorous side of the Airstream. First off, I want to talk about the tanks. So we have 27 gallons of fresh water, 28 gallons of gray water, and 8 gallons of black water. Now, we've never filled up the black water tank whenever we've been dry camping, but freshwater usage is kind of one of the things that we run into an issue. So to kind of extend our stays, we have this 6-gallon water dolly, which we can use to fill up the fresh gallon tank whenever our fresh gallon water runs out, whenever we're boondocking. So with a combination of the 6-gallon plus the 27 gallons of fresh water, we can usually dry camp for 4 days very easily with taking showers. If we wanted to extend that to a week, we'd have to cut back on the showers and probably just use all paper plates and minimize any of the dishwashing. Some little knickknacks and tools that I've found that kind of help us as we've gone along the road, I want to show you some of those right now. First thing is this leveler. So this is awesome because we just have a single axle trailer. So when we level, we basically just drive up one side onto this thing, and it's basically like a little staircase. It's got 3 little notches, allows us to quickly level the trailer without any problems. The other thing is this amazing hose. So you want to have a good long hose, especially with an RV, because sometimes you'll be doing mooch docking, which is basically you're hooked up to someone's house. And this is a 75-foot hose. I think it is actually. And the brand is 0G, and because of how it's made, it prevents any kinking, and it's a lot easier to wind up than some of the old school, like tough hoses. So absolutely love this hose. The third thing I want to show you is this water filter. So one of my concerns as we've been traveling around is we're going to hook up to all different types of water sources. And a lot of RV filters only have like a 10 micron water filter. Now 10 microns is basically like a screen just catching rocks and sand. This goes down to 1 micron. So while it's not perfect, it is a very good solution to help filter the water and give us safe drinking water as we go along. Some of you might have concerns about water pressure drop and water flow drop. For this size of a trailer, we really haven't had any of an issue using the 1 micron filter. Now, if for some reason the water pressure was low, what we can do is pump it directly into our fresh water tank and then use the water pump to pump it around. So the final 2 things I want to show you. One, a high quality pressure valve regulator. So one of the concerns a lot of people have with a trailer is a pipe bursting while they're away from it. So there's a few things you can do. One, you want to make sure that your pressure going into your trailer is the appropriate amount. For this, it's 40 PSI. So I have a water pressure regulator that prevents the water from going in at any higher than 40 PSI. Now, the Airstream provides you with one of those. It's a plastic one. I bought this one because it's metal, it's more robust. Because my concern was the cheap one that they give you is made out of plastic. I thought it would break a lot easier than this rugged, robust metal one. And the last thing, you know what this is? The good old poop hose. So you want to have a good high quality hose. This one is Rhino brand with an elbow clear hook. This one is Rhino brand with a clear elbow at the end. I think it's somewhere like 25 feet it'll extend to. So I'll put links to our Amazon page so you can find all of them. And it's all the stuff that we actually use when we're on the road.
To regulate temperature in the Airstream, we have 2 exhaust ceiling fans, a heating system, and an air conditioning system. So there's a fan back here. I just twist to the left and I open up a window and it actually pulls air out and up. So we also have a heating system, and it is a Dinette heating system. We have the thermostat right here, and it is propane powered, and it has a circulating fan to circulate the air. What about air conditioning, you ask? Up here, we have a Dinette air conditioning system that we can run, as Scott said, on the batteries with one of the generators, or if we're plugged into shore power. And this air conditioning system is plenty powerful because we had to run it when we were in Page, Arizona, when it was 100 degrees with no shade, and we were A-okay. The only downfall is that it's pretty noisy. So if we are running it, we kind of have to shout over to each other to hear one another. So this little contraption that Scott found, you found it on Amazon, right? Mm-hmm. Love Amazon. So this iPad holder clips on to the shelf that's above our bed, and it has a stiff but flexible arm. And then we hook our iPad in right here, and we can sit back, relax, and watch our shows from the comfort of our own bed. Thanks for watching. And I'm sure that you guys are gonna have more questions for us that we haven't covered. So if you do have questions, comment below and maybe we'll make another video, or we'll definitely respond to your comments because we wanna help educate you guys and keep you informed on all of our travels and all of the amenities in the Airstream. So I know that there's a lot that we've covered and a lot that we probably haven't even covered yet. Mm-hmm. It's just a house on wheels, so you can imagine how intricate and complicated some certain parts are. But yeah, let us know what questions you have.
As always, I'm Scott.
And I'm Colette.
And we are Roam.
And if you like what you saw, please like and subscribe below.
Thanks so much, guys.
Thank you.